Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today is a very exciting video because not only am I going to be doing an updated perfume collection, which is probably one of my most requested videos, but it's also going to be a giveaway. I'm not going to talk too much about the giveaway now, but I'm going to go into that more at the end of the video because there are so many fragrances here that I just want to get started. So I love perfumes. If you've been watching my videos for a while, you'll know that fragrances definitely do hold a special place in my heart. I love shopping for fragrances, I love sampling them, I love trying them and going and mixing them, and just I feel like fragrances can really personify your personality, and I feel like a fragrance can transport you to the arms of a loved one or a memory, or they can really help just to kind of zen you out in some cases and make you feel more at home. And I definitely have an amazing collection of fragrances that all bring something unique to my life and definitely I adore. So I'm just going to get into each one that I own. Some of these I have spoken about in previous videos, but if I have spoken about them before, they're just worth another mention because I absolutely love them. When I describe fragrances, it's worth noting as well that I don't talk about notes, so I don't talk about like, oh, and then I get a scent of sandalwood followed by rosemary, because not everybody knows what sandalwood and rosemary smell like. I definitely don't, so I just kind of describe them in really simplistic terms of what they smell like to me. Easy kind of descriptions that you guys can definitely relate to. Okay, so let's start with probably my favourite perfume of all time, and it's definitely been one that I've been wearing since I was about 16, 17 years old, and it is Stella by Stella McCartney. This smells incredible to me. It smells of baby powder, patchouli and cleanliness and soap. Slight lavenderish scent, I think, but I'm definitely detecting baby powder mainly, and just cleanliness and soap. And my mum wears this and it definitely does remind me of my mum. My mum's still here, I don't know why I always say that, but this is definitely something that when I spritz it I automatically think of my mum, and I just absolutely love it. If you're looking for something clean and quite mature, very very soft and just a really easy fragrance to wear that smells very clean and simple, then this is definitely one to look out for. I absolutely adore it. If you like a scent that's quite bombarding and very very different and definitely a statement or perfume to wear, then you can definitely not go wrong with the likes of Thierry Mugler. Thierry Mugler's fragrances to me are absolutely bewitching. There's something so captivating about them. They just take me into my own world and they're just absolutely amazing, and I feel like these smell differently on everybody. And the first one that I ever tried was Alien. Alien to me is a very very fitting name for this fragrance because it's like nothing that I've ever smelled before. It's definitely a fragrance of its own that has a very unique style to it and a very unique fragrance. It smells like leather, it smells like pages of a really old book, and you know you have a new bag, you have that really nice deep inhale and you smell the fresh yet old scent of the leather. That's what this smells like to me. I'm really sorry if you guys can't picture that or you can't quite imagine what I mean, but I feel like fragrance is very unique to everybody. But when I smell this, I definitely detect a hint of leather and a scent of vanilla as well. There's something quite floral in a way about this, but not a sweet floral, not a gentle floral, but a very overpowering and botanical sense of floral, and I absolutely love it. If you're after something different that's very kind of everybody will notice it when you're wearing it, then this is definitely a conversation starter. Definitely one of my favourites. I don't like understated fragrances. If I'm going to spend the likes of Thierry Mugler prices, I want people to notice it. Another iconic fragrance from Thierry Mugler, and equally as beautiful in a lot of ways, is Angel. What I love about this one is it smells very fresh, a very slight hint of citrus. I feel like, I don't know if there are citrus notes in this, but that's definitely what I'm getting. And again, that very very unique Thierry Mugler leather scent. So this is a little bit lighter in my opinion, but very very clean, very very fresh, very kind of citrusy, but also that distinct Thierry Mugler leather hint. I definitely do like this one. Again, I don't feel like a lot of people will appreciate how strong this is. Like if you don't like strong fragrances, this might be one to stay away from just because it's very bombarding, and it's definitely not for the wallflower in the room. If you wear this, you're going to get asked about it. Okay, so the next one to talk about is something quite nice and light, but very very sweet at the same time, but a sophisticated sweetness. So this smells very very expensive. So I feel like this is for the more mature woman, but someone who likes their sweetness and their playfulness and flirtatiousness. I definitely detect all those hints from this. It might sound crazy, but this is the Prada Candy. And as you guys can see, I'm pretty much done with this. It's definitely one that I'm going to go on to repurchase. I definitely think this is more of a winter fragrance just because even though it's nice and light, it feels very heavy, and it definitely lasts for a full day, and it kind of encases you in sweetness and candy scent. Very very nice indeed, very light, Very, very playful, very girly, but a sophisticated kind of scent. This is for the woman that likes to smell sweet, but also wants to smell very expensive. There's just something about this that kind of screams out, this perfume has cost me a lot of money, but it's very, very sweet. So on the other end of the spectrum, sometimes I don't like to quite, like every single one that I've mentioned is £60 and above so far. And sometimes I like to wear things that are a bit more kind of affordable on an everyday kind of basis. And one that definitely fits the bill for me in its sweetness, Viva La Juicy Gold Couture. This smells of salted caramel, it smells of toffee and fudge. That's the only way I can describe this. There's definitely a confectionery smell about this. There's definitely a very light and flirty, playful, sexy scent that just smells good enough to eat. Absolutely love it. I feel like I'm 29, so I feel like I could definitely wear this. I don't feel like I'm too old for it, so I think that, you know, if you like it, definitely give it a spritz. It doesn't last quite as long as the Prada Candy does, but Prada Candy is about £90 and this is about £30, so you can definitely appreciate that they're quite different in their price spectrum. This one I'm going to talk about is one by Valentino. Now, this is one fragrance that I don't think I will go on to repurchase. Like most things in my collection, in fact, as I'm looking, everything in my collection I would repurchase, and I have repurchased. This one, I think once it's done, I don't think I'll bother with it, because as time's gone on, I've appreciated it less and less. And it is the Valentina by Valentino. I just want to shout out to the packaging of this, because that is the first thing that I noticed about the product. Like, I saw it and I thought that packaging is absolutely breathtaking. It has like these pastel 3D flowers on the front. What I love about this is it's floral, as it would suggest, but it has a really distinct pepperiness to it. Like, it smells floral, but there's a very strong after scent of pepper, which I really, really like, because I'm not really a floral person when it comes to my fragrances, but because this kind of descends into something quite peppery, that's what attracted me to it, and that's why I like it. But if you're looking for something, if you're a floral person but you kind of want to step outside your comfort zone, you want to try something a little bit different, then I would definitely give this a try, because as I said, this is like aftershave for women. I really do like it. Okay, so this fragrance has probably one of the most special places in my heart, and I think I've mentioned it in every single fragrance video I've done so far, as I have Stella. So those are definitely two that have a very firm place in my collection and always will. And this is 212 Sexy by Carolina Herrera. When I moved home, which was about when I was like 19 or 20, I moved out obviously to go to university and everything like that, and the first thing I did when I bought my pots and pans was go and buy a bottle of this, because my mum wears it pretty much every single day, and there's just something about it that reminds me of home. It reminds me of my mum and winter nights, snuggling up on a blanket and just chilling out with my family. I know that sounds silly and really cliche and corny, but that's what I love about fragrances. They can transport you to a memory or to an occasion or a surrounding that you have really fond memories of, and that's why I love talking about perfume so much. But this to me smells like custard that's been left in a pan and it's slightly burning, but you've just shoved a load of vanilla pods in there as well. That's the only way I can describe this. It smells really clean, but it's definitely not for everybody, and it's definitely a fragrance that smells differently on everybody. So this is definitely one to go and test before you purchase it. Don't buy it online because it does smell different. As I said, custard, vanilla-y, a little bit of spiciness. It's not a typical fragrance. It's not really one that's easy to describe, but if you like all the other perfumes that I have mentioned and you kind of trust my opinion, go out and sample this. I don't think you'll regret it. It's stunning. Talking about burning certain ingredients in the wood, there's no better one to talk about next than Diptyque's Eau d'Huile. I love this so much. It's such a beautiful fragrance. The strong scent of this to me is vanilla, but if vanilla was sat burning in the woods with some leaves and some moss, that's the only way I can describe it. There's a slight, almost outdoorsy scent to this. Like, it really does smell of the outdoors. You had a fire burning in the woods, or you've been camping, you have that really nice kind of smoky scent around you, but really sweet. This is what that smells like. It smells like if vanilla was sat burning in the woods, that's what this would smell like. It's incredible. If you like the smell of vanilla, but not a typical sickly sweet vanilla, then definitely try this. This is absolutely bewitching. I absolutely love it. The fragrance lasts really, really well. It lasts the whole day and you'll still smell it when that gust of wind comes, which I can really appreciate. So the next one I have to talk about is definitely a winter fragrance, or definitely an evening fragrance. This is very, very sexy, very, very dark, and but sweet at the same time, which is again quite a hard balance to get, and it's the Black Opium by YSL. This smells really sweet. I'm definitely detecting a hint of berry in here, black currant maybe, or cherry, something like that. It actually reminds me of Diesel's Loverdose. So if you are looking for a cheaper alternative, then Loverdose is very similar to this. However, it doesn't last as long and it's not as heavy. It's also quite similar to Black Excess by Paco Rabanne because you have that hit of cherry in there as well, I believe. It's really nice, very, very sexy, very, very Moorish. So let's talk about the lightest fragrance in my collection, something for someone who doesn't want to smell like they've just stepped out of an apothecary. This is definitely one that is a little bit lighter, equally as beautiful, but one for everybody. Like if you like the smell of coconut and almonds and cocoa butter and that kind of thing, you'll really love this. And it's the Almond Coconut by Laura Mercier. This is probably the most forgiving fragrance in my collection and one that most people will like. I've never sprayed this and someone's thought, oh, that smells a bit weird or it smells a bit off. Whereas with the Thierry Muglers, you'll either love them or you will hate them. They're definitely a Marmite product. Whereas this one is kind of one for everybody. I love this scent. It's very sexy, very tropical, very flirty, very playful, very light, very feminine. It's absolutely beautiful. The only downside to this is it's about £42 and I don't feel like the smell lasts very long, so I'll put it on and within 2 or 3 hours it's kind of diminished, and it's not because I've got used to it, because I'll spray it again and I'll get that hit, so I know that, you know, I'm still appreciating the scent. It's just not lasting as long as I would like. But I definitely love Laura Mercier fragrances. They're absolutely beautiful. I just wish they'd last that little bit longer. Okay, so let's move on to Summer's Earle fragrances. These are probably the newer additions to my collections, but I absolutely love them and they have definitely become a firm favourites. The first one I ever bought was the Botanical Essence number 15. So first of all, shout out to this packaging, absolutely beautiful. Comes in this kind of 3D cardboard box, and then this is what the bottle looks like. So it's a matte finish and then it's absolutely gorgeous. Like this is the kind of thing that I'm happy to display on my dresser. It smells beautiful. It's very heavenly. It reminds me of nature. It reminds me of being outdoors and it just smells delightful. Absolutely love it. It's a very strong fragrance, so again I feel like some people will like it, some people won't. It's not for everybody, but I absolutely love it. And I'm definitely detecting a hint of fig in this. Yeah, I'm definitely getting fig from that. So if you like figs and the smell of roses, nature, outdoors, grass, that kind of thing, then definitely check out the Liz Earle fragrances, because of course they're inspired by nature, because that's what her kind of whole gig is really. So I absolutely love it. And there are notes on the back of this which you can go on to read to get more of an active description of what's in here, but absolutely love it. And I feel like there's no point about reading about notes. Go and smell it. If you like it, you like it. If you don't, you don't. You know, the fact that rosemary's in there is not going to make a blind bit of difference to most people. You either like it or you don't. The next one I have is the Botanical Essence number 100. I don't appreciate this quite as much as the other one, but it's definitely absolutely beautiful. It's kind of in a frosted bottle. Again, packaging stunning. This is a bit more peppery and smells a bit more masculine than the other one, so I feel like more people will like number 15 than this one. But this is again very, very dark and very, very rich, and definitely a fragrance that I would appreciate more in the winter months. I really do like it. This is a bit more floral than the first one. Like the first one is more fruity and has more of a berry kind of after scent, whereas this one definitely has more of a floral after scent. But I do like it, and I definitely think the Liz Earle fragrances are ones to try because they're not too expensive. They're about £50 and they last a really long time. Talking about fragrances lasting a really, really long time, you cannot really get longer lasting in my opinion than Tom Ford. The only downside to Tom Ford is the price. And if you buy it in 90ml, it will cost you 102, which is very, very expensive. Packaging is beautiful. Again, what I love about Tom Ford is it's unisex, so whether you're a boy or a girl, man or woman, whatever, you can get away with wearing this. Absolutely gorgeous. Very, very peppery, very, very smoky. And I'm also getting a slight hint of tobacco as well, which might not sound appealing. I know it sounds crazy, but it smells amazing. I also get a really weird cucumbery scent from this. Like, I can smell cucumber and pepper. Those are the main things to gather from this in my opinion. Absolutely beautiful, but again, not for everybody because it's so bombarding and so powerful that some people will love it and some people will hate it, but I definitely love it. Okay, so the last fragrances in my collection come from Jo Malone. I have 5, so I'm just going to talk about the first one, which is the first one I ever bought, which is the Amber and Patchouli Cologne Intense. I love this. Not only is the packaging beautiful, but I feel like I really love the scent of patchouli because I find that patchouli is present in a lot of my perfumes. Like, there's a distinct powdery scent, and I definitely feel like, to me, it smells very powdery. That's why I kind of think that Stella has some form of patchouli in there. It smells very, very powdery, very, very clean, but sweet at the same time. This is probably the hardest one to describe, just because I only really get that overwhelming sense of patchouli from this. If you like patchouli, you like powdery scents, very, very clean and soapy, definitely check this out. It's gorgeous. The next one I have is definitely a tribute to my love of oranges, and it's the Orange Blossom Cologne. Very citrusy, very orangey, I guess, but it also has quite like a spicy element to it as well. So I think this one will be great for Christmas time, in the winter. I also detect a bit of ginger in there as well. I might be wrong, but that's just what I can smell, guys. A bit of lemon, a bit of orange, and a bit of ginger. Lovely. The next one I have is probably my favourite Jo Malone fragrance, and one that it's just overwhelmingly beautiful to me, and it is the Wood Sage and Sea Salt Cologne. This smells to me like if you've ever been on a holiday to like Cyprus, Greece, or anywhere where you've been on a beach where you can smell the salt in the air. You can smell that clean, simplistic smell of the sea. I might sound really pretentious, but it smells of the sea. It smells salty, it smells fresh, it smells clean, it smells like you've just been stood airing on a beautiful balcony somewhere, and just, that's what it smells like to me. It smells amazing. It smells minty. Oh god, no words. The next one I have is Nutmeg and Ginger, which this is probably the easiest one to describe because the ginger is definitely the overwhelming scent in here. And I do detect the nutmeg as well, so this is quite easy. If you like the smell of ginger and nutmeg, you'll love this. However, if you don't like the smell of ginger and nutmeg, not one to pick up, but love it. Really nice, definitely a wintry scent for me. The last perfume I have is definitely a spring summer fragrance, and it is the Nectarine, Blossom and Honey by Jo Malone. I love this because I love the smell of honey, I love citrusy scents, and I love the spicy floral type of scents, and this definitely picks up all three of those things that I've mentioned. This is definitely the sweetest Jo Malone fragrance that I own. It's very, very light and playful. If you're just starting out with Jo Malone and you don't like peculiar fragrances, this is really a nice one to try because it's that nice, easy transition into something a little bit different. So guys, that is all the perfumes in my collection. I hope you all enjoyed it. Don't forget to give it a little like if you did. So let's talk about the giveaway. The giveaway is going to be held by myself. No one has any involvement in this. I'm purchasing this with my own money, so it's not sponsored, and it's any perfume to the value of £102, which means that you can pretty much buy any perfume that I've mentioned today, or you can choose your own. All you have to do to enter is to be a subscriber, comment on this video with which perfume you would like to win, and of course that you're entering the giveaway. And because it's quite a high value giveaway and you know, it's quite a high value gift, I want you to go and like my Instagram page if you have an Instagram, which I'll link down below, and also follow my blog. So I'll put all these terms and conditions in the info bar down below. Don't forget to check them out. But the main three ones are to comment on this video with which perfume you'd like to win, be a subscriber, follow me on Instagram, and follow my blog. So that's it. I'm going to leave it open for 3 weeks because I want to make sure that as many people can enter as possible. And after 3 weeks time, I'm going to be announcing a winner. If you are under the age of 18, please ask your parents' permission because obviously I am going to require your shipping address at some stage. Yeah, I hope you all enjoyed this video, and don't forget to give it a little like if you did and subscribe if you're new, and don't forget to check out the info bar down below for previous fragrance videos and of course the giveaway rules and how to enter. Thanks very much for watching, have a good one, and I'll see you all soon. Bye!